This is going to be a weird night. I can already tell.
Why do you say
Kind of
that?
contentious for sure.
I'm flummoxed. I'm flummoxed. Like, what's going on?
You look like a little flummox.
Oh my god!
And I don't know if I got my drink in here, so I might have to run and grab a drink.
Okay.
We're going to get started though.
Yes, we
in
are.
20 seconds.
All right.
So Raj.
Yes, sir.
First off, let's say this. We did have an LSU themed kind of episode for you tonight. Due to unforeseen circumstances. Definitely hope everything's all right.
Yes.
Dailey will be joining us later on in the year. It is part of so we've been planning different content for you guys this year. And one of the things that we wanted to do was, especially during the summer to kind of fill some time, was go through some other teams' profiles. You know, hopefully after they're all their 8A games or whatever. See, I got DoorDash some
DoorDash a Powerade?
Yeah, DoorDash a Powerade. Just one.
Okay.
Half drunk. Thank you. Love you.
You love the delivery driver? Was that DoorDash?
I mean, it was some good Powerade. So one thing that we wanted to start doing was, like I said, checking out other teams. So she was going to be kind of our guinea pig.
Right.
That will still happen, like I said, later this year. Not throwing Randy out there, but definitely want him back on here. Yeah. I don't know if I can handle a whole other hour.
I guess we'll let Randy back on. Oh, here we go, talking about those freaking puppies. No, we'll definitely get Randy back on later in the year. We gotta get some other, because I think both Herb and I want to kind of get outside of the scope. I mean, obviously it's going to be Alabama focused, but we want to see what other people are thinking about their specific teams, what's going on in their land, depth charts, how are things looking, what are their possibilities, what are their outcomes for the next season, or the upcoming season, I'm sorry. So, it's a good idea, and that's what we're going to be focusing on here the next few weeks. And I guess maybe the next few months, if you think about it, until
it's going to come up quick. It's going to come up very, very quick. So, yes, Randy, we're gonna give you an hour to tell us how great Georgia is, and we'll just have to sit there and go, we know.
Yes,
we know. We know.
And speaking of coming up, they just announced, was it today, that 8A is going to be on the 13th, 1 week prior to my birthday. So that's pretty cool.
I didn't know you were still having your birthday this year.
Yeah, it's weird thing. It's the same day every year. It's kind of weird how they do that, but it's pretty cool. And you're going, right?
And we said that, yep, and there's a comment already. We said this. I expected Randy to go back at us or curse us out or something, but always good evening, Randy. Like I said, I think I say this every week. One of the biggest supporters behind the scenes. You see him on the show, but behind the scenes, he has always got our back and is always encouraging us with more content. Yeah. And I know, when Raj had to miss one, he jumped in and helped fill a lot of time too there. So, So always appreciate him. And that's what happens when you do live shows, man.
I think the cool thing about it is, even though we're fans of opposing fan bases, it's like we can still talk to each other as adults and not let things get out of hand. So that's the cool part about it. And I like hearing his knowledge about the game as far as the SEC is concerned, and vice versa. So it's pretty cool. And
Randy might not root for your team, but he roots for you personally.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I can appreciate for sure.
Yeah.
So he's
and I also want to throw in the fact that one reason, and this is my personal opinion, is one reason why you hear over the past few years is Alabama fans talking about Georgia fans talking about Alabama, is because we still, we know that we have two of the best teams in the nation right now. You don't really hear a lot of Alabama fans saying, "Oh man, let's see who Auburn's recruiting," or Georgia fans saying, "Oh, I wonder what Florida's depth chart is looking like." It's not the same.
One thing. So watching Georgia, I did not realize how much. Well, let me. I'll do this real quick. So
what's up?
Say hello to everybody. What's up, Lady Alpha? How you doing tonight?
Yep. Hey, Lady Alpha.
Check it in.
Big
Mike's
Mike.
About this. Mike and I are definitely going to 8A games. So anybody who wants to meet up out there, Mike and I will be there. Yeah. So did I ever tell you why I hate going out with Mike sometimes?
I don't know. You didn't tell me.
It's like you're just a nobody when you go out with Big Mike, Like the first time I ever met Mike, I got knocked over by people running to get autographs. And like the kitchen is bringing him out food that he doesn't even order.
So you're basically Mike's security, but
no, look at this body. I ain't securing nothing. So
I try not to look at that body. That's weird.
So anyway, it's just like people knock you over. There's a long line for autographs. Like 3 or 4 different people offer to pay for his food. They're moving you out the way. It's just like
it's kind of like being with me.
Yeah, it's just like being out with you, except the exact opposite. Like everyone actually likes Mike, and they're just like, it is crazy. The first time we ever hung out, they started to chant, Mike. It's just crazy. So sometimes it's tough, like getting hang out with Mike. So
gotcha.
Yeah, so this Lady Alpha,
shout out to Lady Alpha, yes,
and he always does. Look at him name dropping a little bit. I'm going to the Masters instead.
I'm just going to the Masters, only the biggest golfing tournament of the year.
Now, is he playing in it though, or actually just covering it? That'd be the interesting thing. So.
I don't know. That's a good question. You know what? I've always wanted to kind of go to the Masters for a long time. That and the Kentucky Derby are 2 things that I think would be really, really cool to attend. For me, the Kentucky Derby is because I would just love to wear one of these fashionable suits, one of these bright colored suits, and a hat, some shoe, whatever the case may be. I think that would be pretty cool.
So for those that don't know, Raj has the fashion sense out of the 2 of us. The nicest that I will get, is this right here. It's a collar.
That's pretty sharp. You look pretty sharp, though.
That's as good as it gets for me. Oh, Randy, since you're out there, pencil or pin yourself in for some Tuesday after the G-Day game to go over the Georgia preview and review if you want to get on there. So, yep. Rex, always a big fan. If you want over Rex, man, you want over somebody for real. Like, Rex will tell you how it is. So,
Rex.
Evening, Cat. Hope you're doing all right. Mike, yes. Mike is a big deal for sure. So he said on the job. Whatever you say, Randy. Whatever you say, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Where were we? So we really just kind of make it up to this. So 8-day game. So Raj, you did this last year. So we'll put you on the spot for this year. I guess I should go get the little thing. So
what is this?
We're gonna put you on the spot early.
Okay, that's fine.
Something that you're not really prepared for. Where's your graphic? Raj's top 5
this
year.
Yeah, because you didn't give me a heads up today.
So I didn't give you a heads up because I was honestly like that's one thing about when your plans change. You kind of go from I'm gonna do an LSU themed thing to all right, we're doing a whole bunch of other stuff. What are your top 5 things this year that you're looking forward to in the 8-day game?
Now this is actually a pretty good one. Number 1, and again, these are in no specific order. Number 1, I'm looking to see the reception from the crowd, see how many people, we're going to be out there in full force, and I want to make sure that everybody's there full and supportive in support of Coach DB and his staff. Number 2, the quarterback rotation. I can only assume right now that Milroe will start, Milroe will start on one side, and I'm assuming Ty Simpson on the other. That could change, a couple next few months. I have absolutely no idea. Number 3, which kind of goes hand in hand with the quarterback situation, is the passing game. I'm looking to see if Ryan Williams gets live out there. Maybe throw Jalen Mbakwe. I hope I pronounced his last name out there.
Apologize to that man's family if you
Kobe Prentice, all the other guys. Just hoping to see them get some good touches on the offensive side of the ball. Number 4, I'm looking to see how our defense looks.
I was going to say, do you even care about the defense? Or
I do.
We're just going to watch the offense and hopefully the defense shows up.
I do, but ever since Coach DB got hired, I have been very offensive-minded because he's an offensive-minded.
I've always found you very offensive.
Anyway, number 4, I would like to see what DBs are out there. And what chemistry we have on the defense and as far as the DBs. I know we've got a bunch of 5 stars coming in, so it'd be interesting to see that. And number 5, just competition. Nice competition, some nice hitting here and there.
Offense. Maybe defense.
And some competition, yeah. Overall, I will admit that this is probably going to be one of the more entertaining and exciting, or maybe even interesting 8-day games in a while because of the coaching change. And a lot of people are going to be eager and somewhat voracious to see what's going on.
That word today, toilet paper is paying off, huh? I'm just happy. I heard that Coach Saban's gonna wrestle an alligator at halftime, so that's really what I'm looking for.
Okay. Do you think Now we know. I'm assuming Coach Saban will probably be on the field, but he can't be the one getting it. You know how like throughout the game they
Mike hit you with a good point.
Oh yeah, and yes. Speaking of that, I did coin the term the Germinator for Jeremy Bernard. So that Germinator, it started here on the Herb and Raj podcast. So whenever that gets out there and ESPN starts using it, please tell them to reference us. Give them a shout out. I am interested to see the Germinator. That's pretty cool.
Well, yeah, what about you? They definitely need it. I'm not posting Mike's other comment because there's no way he wants to backslide that bad. So
yeah.
To be half as good as anybody. Mike's the best. So don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Don't encourage him.
Yeah.
Don't encourage him.
Herb, what about you? What are you trying to see? Not necessarily top 5 because I don't want to listen to you talk too much, but what are some things?
Honestly, any wide receiver other than Williams, because I want to kind of see who might be those other pieces. Like I think there's some pieces like you just mentioned, Kobe Prentice, that we've maybe neglected over the years.
Dailey
so I'd like to see those guys. I want to see exactly where the running back chart kind of shakes out. Like we know what we think about it. I think Jam and Justice, JJ. I think JJ should be like our 1 and 2.
No. I like Jam and Justice. Jam and Justice. Y'all let us know in the comments what's a good duo, like a comeback duo for Jamari Miller and Justice Haynes. What's a good nickname for them?
Another thing for the comments.
I do like Jam and Justice. Go ahead.
As far as our team list, I guess I'm just jumping all around. As far as our team list, obviously LSU and Georgia are 2 of the teams we would check in.
Yeah.
As far as our personal list,
Texas.
I know Ohio State, Texas, Oklahoma,
Ole Miss
are in our top. So who's some other teams that y'all are suggesting we get out there? Michigan is obviously on there. I don't know how the turmoil, but we at least have an inroads into that.
Do you think Missouri will get any love on there? Because they had a really, really good season last year, and we do play them. In this upcoming season. So
yeah, I think they will. And I'm trying to see, did they weren't on the last top 10 list, but that thing's going to keep changing. So we're going to try and squeeze in a lot of those previews after everybody's A-Day game or whatever they're calling their games. But those are some good teams. I think honestly, man, I gave you crap about the offense one, but I just never really worry defense wise, So it's really, I want to see how the rotations are going to stack out, how the line is going to come together. And then it's almost like right after the 8A game, I think the transfer portal is still open for like a couple, like to that Sunday or something like that. So I really want to see what the last part of the transfer portal shakeout is. Who leaves, who we're still bringing in, that sort of thing.
And that's what do you think about that small window? Because it's basically saying like, okay, for you guys who didn't get a lot of PT in your spring game, if you guys want to leave.
It actually probably is the one that makes the most sense. But I think the window is before your spring game.
It's got to be.
But it just ends right after the spring game.
Yeah.
It might be the one time where it makes the most sense. You've got some early enrollees.
Right.
You've got like a set chart. You've got a lot of recruits. And it's probably the last chance for somebody to say, like, Coach, what are you thinking about me going into the next year?
Right.
And otherwise, if I enter the portal, at least gives me some time to think about what you guys think, what I think. If I'm actually going to leave, I get a summer to acclimate. But at least then, I've spent the whole year with the team.
Right.
You know what I mean? Versus like, let's say the guys who come in the summer and transfer like that first December, I'm like, you gave that team like no chance. You know what I mean? Versus if I go through that and go through there. Now, obviously, it puts you behind the 8 ball going that late, but yes, well, I guess we'll definitely be talking about how bad we were this weekend.
I guess that's why I was addressing the issue, because I feel like, wouldn't it make more sense for players to transfer earlier, January, when they can, or as early as possible, as opposed to waiting later? Because then, like you just stated, you got to, once you wait later, you have to. That's less time you're getting acclimated. You got to move. You got to, get situated in a new place, and then you got to go through all that and hope to kind of climb up the depth chart over the next few months.
I mean, you're absolutely right on that one for once.
As always. Sorry.
I like how we both had something to say. It's just kind of, I guess, two groups of thinking. It's either did you tough it out as long as possible, or did you leave? I mean, if I was a player, I'd probably want to leave earlier. So I can't really argue that part. But I like at least saying, look, I gave him my all. And then for some cases, like I guess when Deion let some guys go after their spring game, it was kind of like, all right, that was your last showcase for anybody watching that might want somebody to transfer. And then you can see maybe you just don't fit here, but people can at least see you. So, if you get in the spring game and show out and then transfer, I guess I get that too. But I don't know. I've never really liked the whole thing with it just because we're old school. So well, you're old school. I think I'm just old. But I'm still just kind of getting used to the whole fact of the transfer portal,
Wow.
So, it's just weird for me. So catch up real quick and want to see. So yes, you need to get the Germinator trademarked immediately.
Yes.
Just jam. No, it
what
must
do you think
be.
About, what do you think about it? Just jam. I like jam and just jam. Yeah. That's gonna take some time to grow on me, but that's.
And then see when Justice scores, I can say it must be jelly because jam don't shake like that. If I don't entertain anyone else, I entertain myself.
I have a feeling that's going to be thrown out there this fall too.
Oh, it's definitely.
Somebody's going to say it, and then the other commentator is going to be like,
"Yeah, rest in peace, Stuart Scott," because he would definitely, do that one. So, I'm not prepared to be sad. Look, I'm fully I totally get where you're coming with that, but I'm like, I'm fully in on this next next team in this next year.
It's going to be different, but I'm not going to be sad about
homecoming.
it.
Okay. That's interesting to have a good team like that for your homecoming. Like, why can't we? Who do I usually say? The Missouri School for the Deaf and Blind. That's why I want to schedule.
Why do you always bring up a school for the deaf and the blind at a different state?
Because I look, Raj. What did we talk about on this show? Or maybe it was on Mr. U's show where they talked about, do you want competition? No, it was on here.
Yeah.
No, I don't want competition. I want Alabama to win every game 50-0. The weaker the opponent.
Would you really want that though?
Yes. Like my heart, Raj. Do you know what my heart and my liquor cabinet went through this past year watching this team? I had enough. I'm good.
The SEC championship, that was a lot in itself. The emotions were just like,
right. We had like 2 easy games. All year.
Yeah,
and
but
we were supposed to at least have like 3. And
I was about to say, a lot of it that was supposed to be easy. Even the Arkansas game, I was like, we're going to blow them out. That was a really close game. And
Yes. So no, I want one. Give me like Mrs. Mary's finishing school for women. We'll play them. We'll play the Missouri School for the Deaf and Blind. I'm fine with that. We can play Shelton State Community College. Yeah. Like, let me schedule it, and you'll see a schedule. So it's at least before SEC. So, man, if you can text Lane and get him on here, that show will be like 3 hours.
Oh my gosh! Get your popcorn ready.
You've been waiting for that all your life.
I am.
For Georgia went through spring, learned he wasn't going to be on a certain side to go. So spring for help. So that's my point on the spring game. I think sometimes you get more fully define exactly what's going on, and like I said, and then at least then you can say, boom, I've been here as long as I can.
Right.
Knowing that, okay, maybe I'm not going to have much improvement on the summer. Like, I need to go and move on. And sometimes moving on is not, obviously with what just happened for Alabama, the transfer portal, people are going to have different opinions. But I don't want to necessarily beat up on old folks. But if they do field a team, we will schedule them.
We'll play them.
Yes.
We'll play them.
I'm perfectly okay with that. So
yeah.
But sometimes the transfer portal, like, there are some good stories from the transfer portal. I think the problem is we you see the big stories and you don't see like the 500 others that just kind of languished and went around and didn't really improve from that. So, I think I'm right on that or wrong on that, or you?
No, I agree. For me personally, I just want to get to a point to where we have our roster set and I know exactly what I'm going to be looking at going into fall. But it seems like we might not know that until sometime mid-April, I guess, and we'll have a better idea after that. But I mean, I get most of it, and like you said, there are some players who really, really succeed and profit from this, and then there's other players that they transfer and they just kind of bounce around for a while.
Yeah.
So,
I saw an interesting stat on was it US Today or something popped up? It was like no Alabama player has ever scored in a Super Bowl.
And I saw that today on Twitter. I saw that today.
And they're like, they don't give Jalen Hurts because Oklahoma was the last school. There's like he's not an alum. I'm like, he graduated from Alabama, so that's now you're just splitting hairs as far as that goes. But then also they don't give any court, like you actually have to run it in or catch the ball running, whatever. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. But I think until recently we haven't even really been known for offensive players that much anyway. And then we need some of these wide receivers to step it up. Like I need y'all to stop falling short in the.
Well, I kind of felt like the Lions, and I guess this is what we're getting ready to get into. I kind of felt like the Lions were going to be playing in the Super Bowl until their epic second half.
We'll do a couple more college things, and then we'll get into that. Plus, somebody called us to task for our pick, so we gotta.
We'll do what Herb wants to do.
You know what? I'm gonna go to the bathroom. You just cover yourself. Okay. Your first look at what you got going on next year.
All right.
Did I tell you that on Randy's show, a Georgia guy and I have a little friendly wager? He thinks we're going 8-4 next year. So I said, as long as we go 9-3 or better, I win the wager.
I would be leaning more towards 9-3, maybe even 10-2. It just depends on how things go. And one of the reasons I'm leaning more towards 9-3 is simply because it's Coach DB's first year, and it's going to take some time for us to get acclimated. And I think the sky's the limit after that. But I mean, looking at the schedule, I can see a couple games where it's not the teams that we're playing. It's just like last year and the previous years, I started to accept the fact that there's going to be some games that we play, unfortunately, and we don't go out there and we don't play at 100% level. We make some mistakes, fumbles, turnovers, whatever the case may be, and we're going to end up losing those games. So when you look at this schedule here, obviously we've got the first one at Wisconsin. That could be an interesting game depending on how things go. That could be our first road.
Are you skipping Western Kentucky and USF?
Yes, I'm skipping them. I don't think we're going to play USF like we did this previous year. I think things are going to be a little better. Yeah. Obviously, then we have Georgia after that. Then, hey, that game at Vanderbilt, who knows how that's going to – okay, now listen. If we lose at Vanderbilt –
we're going to quit the whole season? Coach DB is getting fired if we lose.
Oh, yeah. That's immediate. That's immediate.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm sorry to say that.
Maybe at halftime. They'll be like, hey, bro, it was nice knowing you. He's like, well, can I go clean out my lot? No, we've already cleaned out the office. But
yep. And then after that, South Carolina, I think we should win that one. But that 3-game stretch with Tennessee, Missouri, LSU, that could be an issue right there. Mercer, then at OU. I mean, we'll see what Jackson Arnold does at OU.
We're going to that game.
And we are going to that game. And, of course, we got the Iron Bowl. Luckily, we have the Iron Bowl at home this year, so there shouldn't be any curse on Bryant Denny, and things should go a lot smoother than they have in the previous years. They're in Tuscaloosa, so.
All right. Yeah. What did I miss while we were doing that? Say what now? I have no recollection of saying that. What did we say?
Saying what?
I missed that. Yeah, I missed that one. Oh, no. Not me in the chat. Okay.
Yeah.
I definitely missed something.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, this past weekend. So I guess people are kind of – so I do have some other little notes and little stuff we can talk about at the end, depending on how long NFL goes. But we're kind of being pushed that direction. I am curious. Now I'm reading this. I'm like, I don't know what we said about Randy saying that. So
I have no idea.
Yeah. Sorry, Randy. We didn't mean to besmirch your good name.
Be what? Whoa. Besmirch? What? Who says that word? How do you even spell that? I got my phone in front of me.
Besmirch.
That's not it is a word.
Yes, it is. Damage the reputation of.
Wow. When did you learn that word?
It's an actual.
I know, but you've been reading on that word for at least the past 2 weeks.
No, these
okay.
So
man,
yeah.
Please don't besmirch our
Rex, that is the welcome to Alabama Coach DB schedule. So if he navigates, it'll be good. Obviously, your big one, Georgia, having to go to Georgia anywhere would be tough. That's what I do give credit Kirby Smart. His guys seem to play the same road and home, and I think that's a well balanced, well coached team.
Yeah.
So going to Tennessee and LSU, who knows? I don't know what. Then that's one thing I'll love some insight on. I don't know how either one of those teams are going to look.
I don't. Year, I mean, we got somewhat of a preview of Nico from Tennessee when they but they played Iowa in I forgot what bowl game. They won like 35-0. So I mean, that's not much to say about that. Iowa didn't have an offense all year.
Yeah.
And then again at LSU, obviously Jaden Daniels isn't going to be there anymore, so that could be a little different. But I'm leaning more towards the 9-3, 10-2.
Yeah, and Randy, it was in your chat. I think it was Jay Ships. I think I'd have to go back and look. He took the screenshot, so I'm good with it. So, like I said, a friendly wager. So, yeah, Tennessee in trouble. We were going to cover that one later. We can throw that out right now. First off, Tennessee and FSU. How, when everyone is tampering and doing NIL and paying under the table, how you get in trouble about it right now?
But it's Tennessee, it's Florida State, I think Colorado.
Well, Colorado was minor infractions, self-imposed.
Yeah. And I think Florida, didn't something come out about Florida a few weeks ago too about their infractions? But I don't know. I think a lot of this.
You got to finish the whole thing.
A lot of this stuff regarding NIL, I think a lot of things are going to come out. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the infractions were to a point. Some of it could have been like social media oriented or something else. But with
that's
NIL
what
nowadays,
seem to be more social media oriented.
Yeah.
But
and I don't know what like
paying everyone, and people are actually coming out and saying like people are offering money, and you're getting in trouble for it. So
I don't know what the exact rules are. So it's kind of hard for me to go into detail about that, but it's going to happen. So
I like this name. I'm about to leave them. May cost them. Yep.
Nico.
And that's their big guy, man. They've
been talking about Nico for a long time.
They have. A lot of people wanted him to play in the bowl game instead of Milton. So people all over that one. But if they get, and so I read a Twitter post real quick before I came in here, and somebody was accusing us of having snitched on them and these other schools, and we were like, Tennessee's upset that Alabama snitched on them. Like,
right.
Some of y'all clearly just became fans like yesterday. If that is your complaint, nobody's trying to hear. I love some of the replies that were like, "Hey, somebody wants to say I was the one snitching. I'll take that gladly." So we're not trying to listen to Tennessee complain about somebody snitching on them.
Right.
Okay, nobody in this conference likes each other. Okay.
Right.
If you said, "Hey, Alabama's going to win the national championship," and everyone in the conference gets $5 million. Or we'll just have Alabama lose. Everyone in the conference would choose to lose, and they would go raise tuition rates to get the money back. That's what they would do. So nobody likes it. So be interesting to see what comes out with this Tennessee one, and can they keep up their they had like a modicum of success here, but now it's kind of just going downhill for them.
Yeah,
and you love to see it.
Oh yeah, love to see it. Love to see it.
Okay. All right. Which game did you want to start with first? You already mentioned
NFL.
Yeah.
All right, so just to be clear, we both had the wrong picks for both teams. Is that correct? We both.
No, I am in the process
picked...
of editing the film to make myself look better.
Okay,
so I'm going to say I picked Kansas City and San Francisco.
Herb and I both picked Baltimore versus Detroit. I think for a number of different reasons, those are all the teams we wanted to win, and I think a lot of people really wanted Detroit to win too. And
I was rooting for Detroit the most out of the 4 teams left.
Yeah,
so I felt good about rooting for them and picking them.
And I felt like matchup to matchup, just roster with San Francisco, Detroit matched up really, really well with them, especially offensively. Oh, David, what's going on, David? Shout out to Cuz. Yeah. So let's just start with the Ravens game first.
And good point about Tennessee. Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I also want to say about Heupel, and I didn't realize until you start watching broadcasts. Everyone complains that they'll be like, "Oh, we Tennessee's getting on the flags." Both teams that he's been, the last couple of teams, his teams always lead the league like in penalties or near the top. Yeah. So it's like whatever you say, somebody's against Tennessee. No, your coach perpetuates this, and this is what happens. It's kind of like with the Cowboys. Raj, anyway, the Cowboys do the same thing. They lead the league in penalties, and this is what happens. So, thank you, Randy. One day we're going to make it big. Not bigger than Randy, though. I was going to say we're going to bring Randy with us, but he'll already be there. It's like once we bust through the gate, Randy will be sitting there sipping on some bourbon and going, "What took y'all so long?"
Yep.
But definitely hit that like and subscribe, folks. We haven't put in as much as we need to yet, so I think we're still at 88. Our next little milestone is 100, so pass it on. Subscribe if you're not. Please click the little like and subscribe in the bottom.
Subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell your friends, your parents, moms, dads, cousins.
Tell your enemies. We'll take those people too.
Oh yeah, we love that. We love that.
Yep. All right, so yes, the road to 100 starts here. So before we lose this comment, this was
Well, which one? Which game? Hold on. First, which game do you want to cover first?
We'll go with the Lions since you had mentioned it a little bit and we started there. So,
so the Lions had going into half, was it 24-7?
Yeah. Right before half, they have a 21-7 lead, and they're at like the 3-yard line, and there's a thought about going for it or kicking it because you have no time.
And Dan Campbell's,
I think smartly went ahead and kicked it.
Yeah, take the points.
Take the points. Yeah. So
gotcha.
Maybe you gamble a little bit more if you're getting the ball after halftime anyway. But since you're not,
But with the momentum of the game at that time, it's like, look, let's just get the 3 points and let's go into half and get some rest.
Totally agreed with that one. Yeah. San Francisco comes out, and on their first drive, they kick a field goal. It's 24-10. Yeah. I'm thinking Detroit is good at this point.
I am too.
You sustain the first drive right after half. I'm thinking y'all are gonna get this done. You're okay. Yeah. And then it was just, they drive down, they go for it on 4th and 2. Reynolds drops a pass.
Reynolds had two bad drops in this game. Yeah.
And then they asked him after the game, and I guess he's like, "Oh, I'm still." I mean, what's he supposed to say? I'm quitting. I'm never gonna play again. I get it, but that one. When your coach is aggressive, and because that was at the 30, I think. So you're talking like a 47-yard field goal, I believe.
Yeah, go for it.
And he doesn't, and he goes for it. You have to reward him.
Yeah,
and the play call is right. The play is right. You catch that. You guys are continuing to move. You're putting some points on the board, taking a little more time off. Like you just can't have that happen.
Yeah,
And
then I know a lot of people want to criticize Dan Campbell about that. It's you should have kicked it. You should have kicked it. But these were some pretty good passes that were just drop balls. They should have been caught, and they would have been a first down, and things probably would have turned out differently for Detroit.
Yeah.
So
and to that point as well, Raj, that's also who he was this whole year.
That's how they've been playing all year. So he was just following that same script.
Yeah. So it's hard to get away from that, I think.
Yeah.
So, then the Gibbs fumble happens. That.
Yep.
They were having such a good game. They were such a balanced team. The run game was going. That kind of killed him. You get back to tie game. So the second time he decides to go for it, I feel like you lost all momentum and you didn't have anything going for you, and you really just needed some points. I feel like you had to have points on that second time. I think that's one of the only times I questioned him going for it. So
right.
So he was successful going on 4th, and like I said, he's a very aggressive. Like last year, going for it against Green Bay to end their season with nothing on the line. That is who he was all year. So you do kind of betray yourself if you don't. Go ahead.
That's why I don't like people criticizing him afterwards, saying, "Why didn't he kick the ball? Blah blah blah. He should have kicked the ball and took the points." If you have been paying attention to the Lions all season, that's exactly how they have been playing all season. They go for it a lot of 4th down,
right?
And obviously it works. So.
He got them to where they are, so you can't all of a sudden just change everything that you do,
Right.
And then it's like kind of like people say, if he gets either one of them, then we're not even talking about this anymore. So, but it's just Otis texting me. I'm glad he's not on here right now because he's texting me. He's all excited. He's been talking about this, and then all of a sudden it's tough to get back,
Yeah.
So. I don't know. What were your thoughts on it, Raj, and what?
I felt like in that second half, after each mistake just started piling up, they were just in quicksand and they just couldn't get their way out. And it was very, very unfortunate because they started off the game with a bang. That run that J-Mo had, to score that first touchdown. That was exciting. The whole first half was just dominated by Detroit, but the second half, things just went downhill, and it was extremely unfortunate to see such a good team and such a well-loved team go down like that. I mean, and we're not taking anything from San Francisco. I mean, let's be honest. Brock Purdy's second half, he looked great. He had a really good second half. He scrambled when he needed to.
Wheels, yeah.
He made the right passes, and I know he receives a lot of criticism because I think a lot of people want to see him fail.
What do you think about the Brock Purdy hatred?
He was the last pick in the draft.
I mean,
nobody is expecting him to be Dan Marino. He's the last pick in the draft.
Yeah, people are acting like he was number one or a top one. He was the last pick in the draft. This is his first full season starting.
Right.
He is on a great team, but it's like, should he be penalized for that? Should every game they sit out two of their people? So he does what they needed to do. And I'll be honest, if I'm Brock Purdy and I was picked last, and now I'm the quarterback of a Super Bowl team. And last year I had a chance of being a quarterback of a Super Bowl team. Maybe if I don't get hurt, maybe whatever. Man, nobody could tell me anything.
Yeah.
I wouldn't care. I know he doesn't care. So
no,
we'll have him on the show one day. He can talk about it.
Yeah. I think I have Brock's number. We used to.
How do you think you have his number? Like, how is that something you don't just know?
Sometimes you just wake up on a Saturday and you're just like, you know what, man, I don't talk to this guy anymore. I don't talk to this person. Let me go ahead and delete the contact. So I deleted that, and then the next day he got picked in the draft.
Which, by the way, one of our friends who's not watching tonight, so we can talk about him, hates Brock Purdy, but not Iowa State.
I don't get that, and
I don't get that either.
I've never heard anybody say that. And keep in mind, the guy we're talking about is an OU fan, and Brock Purdy went to Iowa State, so there's some Big 12 shenanigans going on there. But I've never seen anybody dislike the last pick in the draft that much, as if he did something. He makes it sound like Brock Purdy did something personal to him.
Yeah. And if he did, hey, we're sorry.
Yeah.
We won't bring it up anymore.
Yeah.
But it's got to be one of the craziest things I've ever heard.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't even hate Iowa State. I just hate Brock Purdy. I was like,
that's weird.
I don't even know if I'd really heard of Brock Purdy until he got drafted, to be honest. And I know it's, did you watch college football? Come on, he was at Iowa State. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And we'll go into the other game in a second. But so reading a CBS Sports list of chances of teams that have already lost in the playoffs this year of getting back to the Super Bowl or getting to the Super Bowl next year, Detroit was number 4.
Who's number 1?
What do you think?
Wait, you're saying teams that already lost to get back to the Super Bowl next year?
Correct. Getting to the Super Bowl next year.
Buffalo?
Teams that lost in the playoffs.
Buffalo?
Ravens first.
Okay.
Buffalo second.
Yeah, I don't know if Baltimore will. I don't know.
Eagles third, but that was with a big question mark. So
yeah, I don't know about
out of these teams, I think Detroit's biggest question is how long are they going to ride the Goff train? Because they have, and this next draft needs to be like just straight defense. Look, you have drafted really well.
I agree.
At the
and they got a lot of young
positions,
young running backs, young receivers. You got a good, Garrett's in the mid 20s, I say 26, 27, something like that. I don't know, maybe a little older, but they're good there. Load up on the defense. I agree.
How old is old Goff there? 29.
29, okay. 29,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
The rest of his core is very, very young. So, and they've, like I said, they've drafted really well. Draft defense this time and decide how long you're going to stick with him. Do you think Hendon Hooker is ever going to get any play there?
In Detroit?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't see it happening. Unless Jared Goff gets hurt, I don't see that happening.
That'd be interesting. So
aren't Hendon Hooker and Jared Goff like the same age? Because remember, Hendon Hooker was like 24 when he graduated.
He's only been gone a year, though, so that puts him like 25.
Okay, 25. All right. That was just
apologize to Hendon Hooker's family.
Okay. Sorry to the Hooker family.
Sorry to the Hookers.
Yeah. Oh my God.
We're gonna get canceled. So this one I didn't know, but
I didn't know that either.
When you look at him, there's something about him that doesn't necessarily inspire you. You know, sometimes
that is a polite way of saying he looks goofy. Just saying.
At least it was polite.
There's something that just says he doesn't inspire you. Nobody ever says that.
Sorry. Look, I apologize to the Goff family as well. Okay.
Yes.
I just think at some point they're going to reset it at quarterback to claim to go along with that core. But
gotcha.
Obviously, we were also rooting for because of Gibbs and J-Mo.
Brian Branch.
Yeah. So that made us big Detroit fans as well. So hate to see that go. So now you got to go to the other game.
Oh, the one game. And I kind of feel like a lot of people wanted Baltimore to win. There's some people out there who are just tired of the Taylor Swift.
Yeah. For Baltimore, after losing that game, it's going to be a cruel summer.
Do you think there's going to be any
guys? Baltimore needs to shake it off. Do you
think there's going to be any bad blood in the locker room?
I think if you're Lamar, maybe you look at everybody and go, "It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me."
Who's going to be the anti-hero? So whose fault was it? From your perspective, whose fault was it for
Baltimore? The offense.
The Zay Flowers fumble at the end zone that did not help.
Goff and Hooker, the Detroit quarterback room, or a politician's vacation? Definitely.
Oh my God.
A politician's vacation. Yep. The Saints do not like golf. Sorry.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift's boyfriend showed out there.
He did. He did.
That first catch that he made for a touchdown, that was a tough one.
Guys always play better when their girl is at the game. You always got to show out.
I never know because I never had a girl that would come to the game. Raj, on the other hand, they used to have a Raj section, and there used to be like girls would get tickets, and the 6 best ones would come and watch them at the game. My section was a pile of dirt, and nobody ever sat on it. It was terrible.
What?
It was terrible.
Oh
So we talked about this on another show.
Yeah.
Right. You have to, first off, if you're the quarterback, right, and you've got your little pay raise and whatever, right, you have to take accountability and responsibility for what happened. Not saying that he didn't, right?
Yeah.
But for better or for worse, most of the blame is going to go on your shoulders, right?
Yep.
The Ravens pitched a shutout in the second half.
Yep.
Okay. You're at home and you only generate 10 points.
Yeah.
Like, it has to be, you just have to be better. You can't say, if I went into the game and you told everybody, hey, the Chiefs are going to score 17 points, including none in the second half, you're picking a Baltimore victory, right?
Yeah.
I think you're doubling down on it. They're like, all right, Baltimore's definitely winning this one. Right?
And prior to the game, I even made the comment, I was like, the Chiefs haven't looked dominant like in the postseason. And honestly, they haven't really looked dominant all year. Correct. They've been doing just enough to get by. And I think in this game, their defense really, really stepped up and put some pressure on Lamar. One thing that did stand out was that interception he threw into like triple coverage. I think that was the fourth quarter. That was just I don't know what he was looking at that pass, but
the more you look at it, it definitely should have been pass interference. Yeah. But the pass was so bad that I think they just weren't going to get it to him.
Yeah.
So this happened last week against Houston. Isaiah Likely goes out. He's semi open. Lamar throws a low pass. It's almost picked off. The next play, next time he's out, Isaiah tells him, throw it up.
Yeah.
He throws it up. He just bodies the defender, catches it, touchdown. On that play, Likely breaks open. He points up. The pass is 5 yards underthrown.
Yeah.
And Lamar even says after the game, like, I didn't want to throw it out the back end. Yes, you did. You want to throw it where only your guy can get the ball. Right. And if he's pointing up, he didn't give him a chance.
Yeah.
At that one. So yes, that IT in the end zone, it just, especially for a team that had got nothing going all day, after the first quarter, you can't do that. You can't throw to who's not even supposed to be your main guy, your backup tight end, in triple coverage, and not give him a chance at the ball. Throw it up to him or don't throw it at all.
Of one of the interceptions, and I hate to bring this up, that Milroe threw against Texas, and it might have been the first one when it was like double or triple coverage. It was just a bad pass, and I think even after the game, he was like, I didn't know what I was looking at, or something to that effect.
Yeah,
it was just a really bad pass. And the other thing to get on page, that really hurt Baltimore was that Zay Flowers fumble right before he scored the touchdown, because it would have been 17-14. Baltimore would have had the momentum, but getting that touchback for Kansas City just had everything out of Baltimore, I think.
Yeah. So Zay Flowers just had a bad sequence there. He finally gets wide open, gets the catch, gets the taunting call. And so I wish Ricky was on there because he was adamant against it. We disagreed on this one. He said it shouldn't be taunting. He let him play, let him go. I say in that instance, you have to know what the rule is. You shove the guy's head down and you spin the football at him, you're going to get a call. You have to be smarter in that instance.
Yep.
The fumble, I can kind of forgive because I think anybody's natural instinct would be to reach out for it. It was just an amazing play. Does it suck? Yeah. And the timing was terrible, and there was the only opportunity he had. Yeah. So you can't forgive that, but I understand at least what he was trying to do. But I haven't said that yet. It was just awful. So
and I also
got
saw
2 of these in here.
What's that? The Taylor Swift jokes,
yeah.
So, question for everybody regarding when are you going to get a Taylor Swift T-shirt?
So did you know Taylor Swift has generated $315 million for the NFL? So I want to say this one, Raj, because as interesting threads I've seen, people go towards saying that the league is rigged. And I even saw a comment today on Facebook. I started a comment and I said nothing. They said the league does not want Lamar Jackson to go to the Super Bowl.
Why not? Why would they not want him to
And that's what I said. First off, like with the money right there, the Super Bowl is going to make money regardless.
Yeah.
Right. So somebody even pointed out Taylor Swift, they got what they wanted by her getting to this point.
Oh, yeah.
But if we think the league is rigging things for Kansas City, why aren't any of their games easier? They played bad all year. They got to the 3rd seed. The only reason why they're still the 3rd seed is because Jacksonville really fell off, so that division wasn't great. And the division that they're in, there is no second-best team right now, okay? The Buffalo game, they didn't play well. Buffalo really shot themselves in the foot. And Baltimore held them. Like, if I'm going to rig a game, Kansas City scoring like 30. But there weren't, like, terrible flags all over the place. And it wasn't poorly officiated. And Kansas City didn't score the whole second half. So if we're going to say
it was 17-10, I mean, come on.
Yeah, if you're going to say the league doesn't want Lamar to win, what you're doing is you're letting him off the hook for what happened in that game and saying you only scored 10 points, but it's not your fault, it's the league.
Right.
That's why I disagree with it. So, yes. See, Randy, that's the thing that bothers me. You're letting these people off the hook and you're giving everyone excuses and you're saying, oh, it's not your fault. It's something else that's going on the league.
It's me too, and it's not just the NFL. It's in a lot of sports that you see that.
Agree 100%. Yeah.
When a team loses a game, someone comes out, oh, it's rigged. It's rigged. How would you even rig these type of things?
Thank you.
That makes no sense.
So here's the deal, and yes, I agree with that too as well, Mike. That would have been a great little thing. If you're gonna rig it, when the NBA had their scandal, he wasn't rigging it, but he was getting you overs and unders, right? If you were going to rig that game, and this is what I want people to point out to me, who was paid off? Was it the refs? Because they didn't throw a whole lot of flags. It was like basically one drive. But again, they didn't. The whole second half, Kansas City didn't score, right? So where are you pointing to where Lamar was really screwed out of this game? They just didn't. They just didn't play well. So, and I agree with that. So, and like I said, I was pulling for Baltimore. I was pulling for Lamar, but you can't score 10 points and blame somebody else.
Yeah.
So,
sorry,
that's my little soapbox, but that's
it's the same way. I hate it when people say that it's rigged, and then I try to politely tell them that it's not rigged, but some people just don't. They don't listen, and I always tell people, like, if you think sports are rigged, why don't you just go place a couple of bets on some of these games since you pretty much know who's going to win, and you won't have to work anymore.
Yeah.
But what happens is after the game's over, the first thing someone says, if things don't go their way, it was rigged. Yeah. It's not rigged. Okay. Yeah. There's no scripts. It was just jokes. Just stop doing that. So.
Well, see, I always hate when you throw in the Alabama ones, man. Like, I don't feel like something was rigged against anything. So and I know you're going to say it's not us, but you're bringing it up, and we're Alabama fans. So
which Alabama ones are
Georgia fans with the Alabama matchups? Yeah, I don't get any of that. So sorry if I misread that. I apologize. I don't get any of that, And I think Raj and I think reason why people actually listen to us and talk about it is we're honest about what we think happened. Look, we went to Tennessee and had 15 flags called on us. And do you know what we were mad about? The play calling at the end that led to us missing a 50-yard field goal and going. And that's when Raj and I talk about the game. We don't talk about the missed targeting, any of that stuff. And yes, like I said, right, I totally misread that. I totally agree about that. So I feel like, when you go on the road, you expect a certain amount of flags against you, right? That's just how it is. And I think in college it's worse because it's a little more emotional. That's how I feel. But at the end of the day, you can, if you're a good team, you can overcome that. The year we lost at LSU and lost to Tennessee like that, we weren't good enough to overcome that.
We weren't.
Calling was bad. We didn't make good plays at those times. That's when those are my memories of those games.
Yeah.
So that's what I say about it. So I feel like I got on a soapbox. I'll apologize. Right? You got anything to add about bring us back into the ball? And again, Randy, you're right. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, how do you call this game? I mean, as far as it being rigged, I mean, who did someone tell Zay Flowers, hey, right before you score this touchdown that you're probably going to score in the second half, we're going to need someone to we're going to need you to reach your arm out to make sure someone knocks the ball out of your hands, okay? I'm pretty sure Zay Flowers is like, yeah, gotcha. No,
right.
Things happen. Baltimore didn't play that great in the second half.
Exactly.
It happened. Yep. And I can understand I can't even understand. Even if Kansas City won 41-10, maybe there's something different. Maybe some calls went their way, but it was 17-10. Neither team really played great football, but Kansas City did a little bit more on the defensive side to come out with the victory. That's all.
But you don't score 10 points in a game and say something was against you. So.
Right.
And Randy, I think officiating as a whole could be improved. We don't have full-time officials in a lot of these sports.
That's in sports just across the board, though.
Yeah, and I think the speed of the game is getting quicker.
Yeah.
And I don't think the refs are kidding up.
Refs are going to miss some calls. Yeah. I mean, that's just part of the game. Any game, really.
And that's the thing, Mr. Raj and I like to hold the players accountable, and we say accountable. It's like not like they owe us anything, but when I look back at a game, I just like to think what was in our control, what could we have done better. So, and I think for Baltimore, that's two ways you got to look at this game. What could we have done better, or was it just not our fault? It was rigged against us. I feel like Lamar Jackson is a guy that's sitting there thinking, I have to play better. Yeah, and I feel like he'll rise to that occasion. So I don't feel like that's coming from him. So. And yeah, he is. I mean, he's the best in the game right now. I just think you have to give him that respect. His receiving core is not getting better. Yeah, he's finding ways to win. When people go back to that one he lost against the Patriots, that man was running for his life and still throwing great passes, and people were dropping him. Like the man, he plays great in great moments, and that's what great teams do. I think some of these teams are still figuring it out. So
I want to say this: I do think that if Kansas City wins. Are they going to be now like the villain? Because I don't know if they reached the villain stage yet, but are they going to be the villain of the NFL? Like, you remember the Patriots were the villain for a long time. Nobody liked the Patriots outside of the New England area.
They are the villains, Raj, but for reasons you might not expect.
Is Taylor Swift one of the reasons why they're the villain?
She's number 3 now. Okay. But Brittany Mahomes, a lot of people didn't like her. And then was his name Jackson?
Yeah,
he didn't endear himself to fans.
I got
either.
the Jackson Mahomes things because I think he was more irritating than just like entertaining. Yeah. Why are people not liking Brittany Mahomes?
I don't know, but it's like when you read online. So first, let me go ahead and say this. Obviously, because I'm singing her songs over here, I'm not a Taylor Swift. I don't get the Taylor Swift hate, and I had an argument with a buddy at work today about it. I'm like, she's actually on camera telling them to take the camera off of her. Yep. She is dating a player. She's at the game. She's not making grand entrances, right? Yeah. She's going up in the booth and she's watching the game. If you're going to tell her that's a problem, like what? She's not allowed to go. So if she didn't go watch any of his games, that would be the story. Oh, Taylor Swift never goes to any of his games. Yeah. So what is she supposed to do? So I don't feel like she's over the top. I feel like she just goes there and she's cheering. Like, what are they going to do? He scores a touchdown. We go up to her and she's like this. Like, I just don't get it.
I don't get it. I don't get it either.
Yeah. Kelsey reminds me of what was the of Gronk. I think they're both guys who probably get drunk like at halftime and whatever happens. So
can you imagine that Chiefs? What?
I agree with this. You're saying pretty people hate Brittany Mahomes. I just have never get it. So
just leave it alone. Yeah.
Especially when I didn't never see anything that she did that was over the top.
Right.
So. I'm missing the Eli Apple's mama, but I'm definitely gonna look that up after I'll look that one up after the show. Yeah. I don't know how, but somehow we got to. Oh, and I guess so. Next week we'll do more of a Super Bowl preview. Oh, we can't forget somebody who's helping us keep track of the NBA. So forgot that he threw this one in there. So the Knicks have slid in, and the Pacers have slid out in the Eastern Conference. So. I think that'll make Mr. U happy. They made a trade for. Did they get OG? And Siakam went to the Pacers, right? Yeah. So they got Anunoby. So they slid up into the 4th spot. The Bucks fired their coach. Have you ever seen somebody in top 5 in
30 and 13, and you're firing your coach? That's crazy.
Yep. And the West is pretty solidified. I would love to see a Denver OKC Western Conference final. I'd be on board with that. Is that the LA Lake? Oh no, it's the Clippers.
The Lakers lost. My Lakers. I'm pretty much giving up on my Lakers this year. If we make it to the playoffs, that's probably the best we're gonna do. We lost to the Hawks tonight by like 16 points.
AD's hurt.
I don't know. It'll be AD's hurt. Is he hurt or is he just?
So
knowing AD, I mean.
Yeah, he was hurt tonight. Tonight. Happy about the move as far as firing the coach. I am not happy about them firing Doc Rivers. And the Bucks are one of the teams I root for NBA wise. So give me some clarification on that. Are they happy about the Doc Rivers hire or just about the fire? I don't think there's any way they could get away with this. No. And then what's his trade value? Because then he had like a max contract. Like what are you trading away for like an almost 50-year-old LeBron?
I think really hurt. He's 39.
Oh.
But he's still extremely efficient at what he does. He's still putting up points, rebounds. He's still giving you numbers. So I don't think it's going to happen. I'm interested to see if the Lakers do anything before I think it's February 8th trade deadline. The thing is, I just don't know what they have to get. I think they're looking at DeJounte Murray from Atlanta, but what are they going to give up to get him? They're probably going to have to gut their bench a little bit, and I don't think they can afford to do that. So
right, and that's the way I was looking at it too, Raj. I don't know that they can do it. So
and James Lawrence, shout out to James
Lawrence. About this,
when
Raj was talking about this.
Yes, I watched that game. That third, fourth quarter, especially the double overtime, that was a phenomenal, one of the best basketball games I've seen in a while. So that was a really good game.
Yeah. I agree with the change, Randy, because I don't think Griffin was doing a great job. I'm definitely going to hit you up offline about the Rivers thing, and maybe I'll quote you next week on it because I'm not a Rivers fan. So I definitely want to hear the other side of that, and that's something maybe we can talk about next time. So appreciate you throwing that out there. All right, Raj, hit me with the hard cry.
All right, 3 questions for her.
All right, bring it on.
Number 1, work, play, live. Of course, for those who don't know, this is one of our favorite games. I'm going to give her 3 names. He tells me who he'd rather work with, who he'd rather play or hang out with, and who he would want to live next to. Work, play, live, annoying NBA player edition.
Oh, my gosh.
Dylan Brooks.
Wow.
Draymond Green.
Wow.
Patrick Beverly. Work,
wow.
Play, live.
All right, so I feel like the way to isolate the most annoying one is to live next to them because that's the least amount of contact. So I'm going to give Dylan Brooks live next to.
Okay.
Because I'll just.
You think he's the most annoying out of all 3?
I like him the least out of all 3.
I was about to say, or do you just not like him?
I like him the least out of all 3. So I'll work with Pat Bev because he seems like he'd be like on task and on point. And if you're on the same team as Pat Bev, he's great. So if you guys are working on a project together, I think he'll be on time. I think he'll do all the right things to do all the little things to get it. And we going out with Draymond because Draymond just looked like
Draymond knows how to party.
He drinking Hennessy at halftime every game.
And plus, Draymond's really good friends with LeBron, so you know he's going to show you a good time.
So maybe I won't go out with Draymond. Then maybe I'll
continues.
maybe I'll change that one. So
okay, next question: if you could have dinner with any 3 people ever, dead or alive, who would it be?
Oh, that's a tough one.
That's why I asked it.
Probably put Michael Jordan in there just because he's one of my favorites. Okay. Right. I think I'm going to pick 3 living people because the dead people would be forever. And I'm going to go sports only. So I'm going to talk about
dead people would what?
It would take forever just because there would be like a longer list. So I'm going to pick like current people. I'm going to shorten your list down. I'm going to shorten your list down. I'm going to tell you the 3 athletes that I would most want to sit down and hang out with.
All right, that's fine.
That's what I'm going to go instead, right? So I'm probably going to take all Alabama people too. I'll probably get MJ in there just because he got the most money and he'll pay for everything.
LeBron's got money too.
He'll probably take us out to Vegas, right?
Okay.
This might surprise you. Najee Harris, because I love his personality. I think he's a kind of a goofy guy. I think we'd have fun. And then I almost wanted to say Jalen Hurts for a second there. But am I just going to stick with Alabama guys, though? Well, MJ's not an Alabama guy. Oh, man. Who's a good he said Jordan will not pay for everything. Oh, man. You know what? I'm gonna go with Jalen Hurts. I'll go Jalen Hurts, Najee Harris, and I might kick MJ out if he's not paying for everything, and I'll take out Devontae Smith just so I feel like I'm bigger than one of the guys that's out with me.
So Jalen, Najee, Devontae Smith.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. That's interesting. Okay. Last question. So I really want.
See, probably. So this is where it started. He will not pay for everything. Yeah. He takes it personally that you think he would pay. Yeah.
You might joke with Jordan and like slap him on the shoulder, and then he'll look at you and give you that death stare, be like, "We're going outside to shoot." Like, dude, I was just joking with you. No, I took it personally.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right, so that people can kind of get to know both of us better. I'm gonna start this question obviously with you. So just Last question. What is one interesting thing about yourself that some of our listeners may not know?
I don't know if this is interesting or sad, but
probably sad.
I'm not I'm not musically inclined at all. So when I was in second or third grade, third or fourth, one of those, right? You know, you have those classes where everybody sings together.
Yes.
The music teacher took me out and sat me to the side and told me not to sing. Mom and dad Mom and dad had a conference about it. They went and talked to her, and she had to explain, no, I just meant that he needs to listen to the beat. But yeah, it's that bad. And to where I don't know if that sparked my lack of love for music. Like I still listen to music, but
no, let's be honest. Herb will text me, my wife, and his wife about new songs that he thinks are new and cool. But these are songs that came out in like 2005. Like, was it last year? Sometime he's like, my new favorite song is Going Down. Meet Me in the Trap. It's Going Down. I was like, Herb, that was like 2005. I love this song.
That's how so like this morning when I drove to a first job, I drove in silence. There was nothing playing in the car. Okay. I either played podcasts or now like I play a lot of Taylor Swift these days.
Yes.
And what's Rachel Platten fight song? That's one. I can also. I'm the guy. What? Do I need to play it?
Who was that?
I don't. I only know two of her songs, but fight song is one of them. I'm also the guy that give me a 20-minute ride home, and I can play one song for the whole 20 minutes on repeat the whole way home. So.
Another fun fact: Herb and I's favorite song is "Regulator" by Warren G and Nate Dogg. But we also really, really do love Ice Ice Baby. We did love that song back in the day. I think that was 1991, but hey. Anyway.
I don't think Mike said that was 2017. Which one was 2005? Was it
I'm talking about Young Jock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so that's my fun fact.
Yeah.
I'm not musically inclined.
All right. That's it. You survived.
I like it. Yep. I survived. So all right. Once again, to our guest tonight, Dailey, we hope everything is all right. Hope everything's going well. And
shout out to Dailey,
to have you on a future show. Thank you, everybody, for the comments, especially when we have a last-minute change. It does help us to get through the show.
Yeah.
We have survived. Raj, any final thoughts? Good?
No, man. I'm just looking to see what's going to happen in the next... What now?
Nothing.
What'd you say? Looking to see if we have any more recruiting news coming up soon or anything like that the next few weeks. But other than that,
Kat, we'll have to repost the video of us karaokeing to it. Or singing in the car, I should say.
Singing
so there's several of those out there. But roll tide to you as well. Thanks to everybody once again for everybody chiming in. Coming up next on this network is nothing. We also did post our video closing out the college football season. That was just posted again. So Mike has argued with you about Young Jock. So
yeah, that was not 2017.
So, all right, everybody, have a wonderful night. Thanks for listening to the Herb and Raj podcast. And as always, roll tide, everybody.
Roll tide.